Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to the Blindness of Eternity. When last we left off, we'd been getting beaten up by a boss, and we were thinking that we were probably just going to have to rest because of the way that it handles my party allocation at the time. So I think that I'm going to do that. I do not think I'm going to leave the dungeon, however. I think that I am, in fact, going to just basically stand in the dungeon and try my best to take a rest here. And we'll see how that goes. Basic just being, if someone tries to come out, they're going through me. So we'll see how that goes. I will go through the dialogue for the combat again because I only half remember it. It's been 24 hours or whatever, something similar to that since I last did it, and because it just seems sensible to me. Oh, Jesus! Okay, so, bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go over here. That's terrifying. And we're just gonna go ahead and rest. I prefer not to, but I do think that it's better to rest in here than it is to rest out there. Under normal circumstances, I would not think that. However, because of the fact that we are sort of raiding this place and sort of just going through the place, I think that sort of trapping these people in this room is the best way to handle things from an RP standpoint. Because there's just no way to win this with her at 10 hit points. So we're just going to open this door, and we will go through with this. A large bull-necked man in a hood helps a young elven woman down from a glass chamber connected to a dizzying array of cables and machinery. Her skin and clothing glisten with fresh blood.
You may feel a little lightheaded for the next hour or two, but that will pass. Have a meal and get some sleep when you return to town. The transfusion. The transfusion will be smoothest if you relax and rest. The implanted essence already has a hold on your mind, so fighting it will be useless. And I hope our new visitor does not complicate matters overly. Subversion, the black sheep cousin of justice. Or haven't you heard Lord Heron's tale of woe about a missing daughter and an impending marriage? He's sent his soldiers to scour the village while he bides his time at the Dracogen Inn. You of all people should understand what I'm doing. I don't know who you are, but I can read that look of discontent on your face. Polite society frowns on your struggles and ideals as much as they do my animancy and Scan's rituals. But unsightliness reminds polite society that there are limits. When no one pays attention to the excesses and debaucheries of a lord, you give them something they can't look away from. Lord Heron's been telling everyone she's his daughter. He brought her all the way out here just to avoid anyone who might know differently. She's his niece, and she's carrying his child.
I still don't understand why people are making this huge a deal out of it. I just don't get it. I do not understand. The word monster is used here. These people have literally done blood sacrifices to infuse the essence of people into her to take over her mind. Incest is what they're getting worked up about. This just blows my mind. Anyway, I'm gonna go with number 4.
Easy to disbelieve. Easy to look away from something this ugly and question what you saw. And that's how he's gotten away with it so far. Heron's own wife's delivered nothing but Hollowborn. Now he's got no heir, and his sister's child, Elise, is reaching the age to marry. Without progeny of his own, Heron's legacy would pass to her issue. So, he found a way to continue his own noble line by putting his child in this girl, his own niece.
I'm gonna go with number 3.
Not a highborn heir. Even if he disposed of his own wife by some means, what family would marry their fertile daughter off to him? You can see the problem with this foolishness about blood and birth, I hope.
I don't know. This whole story seems just like complete bullshit to me. I'm sorry, but like this girl is already of his line. You know what I mean? He wouldn't need to impregnate her in order to continue his line because she is of his line. Like I don't know. I mean, maybe if he hated his sister or something, but as someone who plays a lot of Europa Universalis and Crusader Kings, I just don't see the angle here. I'm gonna go with number 2.
Yet no one did. Not that innkeeper who wasn't above taking his lordship's coin. Not Heron's attendants who must have known. Not even his wife, the poor girl's aunt. Depravity like this doesn't happen, but that people allow it. This is the truth that decent folk don't want to see. Sometimes you need excess to fight men like Heron. This isn't just about Heron or the girl. It's about the corrupting influences of power and wealth. How people of privilege, people like Heron, are so often insulated from the consequences of their actions. The charged essence of dozens of maltreated slaves and underlings is already taking root in her mind. Once it's established, it'll drive her to murder her uncle, her aunt, and anyone foolish enough to get in her way. People won't be able to look away from Heron's sins then.
Like, they killed dozens of people. I just don't get it. Like, I mean, they haven't even made a case for it not being consensual. They haven't even tried to make a case that it wasn't consensual yet. I don't know. Simple bench mob.
I do not wish to destroy Nestor Heron. I wish to end his entire rotten line. His name will become a curse among strangers. The deeds of his house will be eclipsed by his ruin. Foes will hear his name and shudder with pity. And any relatives who should survive him will abandon their fortunes just to rid themselves of the association.
I'm gonna go with number 1. Wait, what's this about the memories that hold our path? I'm gonna go with number 1. It occurred to me right as I was doing this conversation. The grieving mother. This is a pregnant girl, supposedly. So grieving mother would. So if there was some sort of like rape involved, as opposed to this just being a case of incest, which is really not that huge a deal. If it was a rape case, then she's really weird. So I don't know that she would like allow this woman to remain intact. But I'm gonna allow her to do it because I don't think that she has the energy to start manipulating this person. So anyway, you feel her reach out, persistent yet gentle. Aelys does not move, but the grieving mother trembles with exertion, and the air around her rings with the sound of chimes. At last she collapses, her energy spent. The strain throbs her mind.
Kill them. All of them. If she can't destroy Heron, then we can destroy his legacy with her.
Okay, so first things first, we need to kill off these archers. Now, this is going to be dramatically easier than it was before. If it takes more than one attempt, I will honestly be quite surprised. See, I'm actually going to put it over here instead. And I'm going to have her go over here. And then toast this guy. I'm gonna send a dog over here. And where is Adair going? I think I'm gonna send Adair up to... Actually, I'll send him to the Preacher. The Preacher looks like a rogue. So, he is hanging back for now, and I think that's the appropriate thing for him to be doing. I'm going to... Debating whether I don't want to use these yet, I think. I think I'm going to wait with her. So, Aldrea is ready. He is ready. He's just chilling. She's ready. She's ready. So, the dog's ready. We're all set. So she's running off. Oh, so maybe she didn't get killed in the last one. Maybe it's just that she ran off. That didn't even occur to me. Huh. Right, well. At any rate, we're now looking at a much more coherent fight. So let's try grabbing him, because the other one's out of line of sight. Spellcaster. Okay, so let's pop him back behind. Okay, so these three are actually all accumulated in one group. So I think I'm gonna move her forward a bit. And then I'm gonna restart. Whoa, what the hell just happened? Whoa, okay. So the first one's down. And my pup is in trouble. But these guys should go from... No, actually, never mind. This is an archer. I think that I'm actually going to go after the archer next. I'm gonna have her attack Wyman though. But I actually do not trust the Grieving Mother in situations like this. So we'll just have to hope that she doesn't do anything monstrous. Or didn't do anything monstrous, rather. Oh wow, paralyzed. From this angle, he was able to hit every single one of those guys.
Quit.
And they should actually be
Your thoughts
attacking.
must flow deep.
Okay, so that one's toast. We now have the Preacher, we have a Mindbender. This Preacher's going to be paralyzed for a while longer, so I think that it's best to just deal some extra damage to it. Grieving Mother is now charmed. Which is kind of amusing, actually. I guess she's confused, not charmed. Oh shit. We are running low on party members. He is dead. He's screwed. I'm gonna try and get this off first, but I don't think I'm going to.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Whoa, she's actually still up. I'm gonna try to charm that. Not to charm it, but. And it looks like I'm screwed. I'm actually gonna lose this. Okay, so we're gonna have to load. Surprisingly enough. These guys were tougher than I thought they would be. And we'll need to figure out how we're gonna handle this.
Got it.
On the plus side, I don't really have much in the way
The
of
trans you of
options for most of this, so.
easy. Heron's own wives delivered nothing but Hollowborn, not a highborn heir. Even if he didn't yet, this
So what we're actually going to do is... I'm a little concerned about doing this, but we are going to pull them back. We're not going to pull them back, because we just got everybody just got not charmed, proned, I guess, for lack of a better word. Let's see, Itamak.
Following your lead.
And this will hopefully be a better place to fight them, just because they will presumably start. Well, maybe they won't. Okay, so she is gonna have to just try and knock these guys over. Wow, that damage. Jesus. So Kana is charmed. Who are these? This is Grieving Mother and Sagani. Let's get Sagani on this guy.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Okay, so those guys are both stunned. I think I'm just gonna pop this again. And I missed, I think. Holy shit. Taking so much damage. I need to split up my party. Okay, so we're gonna load again. These guys have a lot of AoE that they put out in the very beginning. And it's making my life a lot more difficult than I would have expected. So let's try this again.
Sure.
The transfuse. Look. Easy. Heron's own wife, still not a high. And yet, this I do. Kill them.
Okay. So, I'm actually just going to send him over here alone. My hope is that he can distract both of these. I'm kind of tempted to kill that Mindbreaker first, actually. But we'll have to see. So I'm going to send the dog over here, I guess. And I think I will make an attempt to go after this Mindbreaker next. Okay, so he's going there. Grieving Mother, I'm going to pull back here for now. Okay,
Point the way.
so this is. Oh, what weapon are you using? Oh, this guy's dual wielding. This is a rogue of some sort. Okay, so that's good to know.
Point the way.
Okay, so this is Sentry. This is the Mindbreaker right here, actually. So what we can do is not knock him over. Okay, so we have a bunch of knockdown people. To have her blow her defenses. And we are going to hopefully stun these guys. Fail to stun most of them. He is not even near them, but he's still in deep trouble. So he's still prone. 0.1 seconds. Oh shit. Just as he was about to get off his paralysis, the other guys got their paralysis off first. Oh man, this is gonna be rough. This is rough. I have not done any meaningful amounts of damage to these guys yet.
On your word.
And he's gonna just die.
Your thoughts must flow deeply.
And she's paralyzed too, so this is just gonna go terribly for me. This is a really rough fight. The problem is that my party starts out completely stacked on top of each other, which is great for enemy AoEs, and their party starts completely spread out, which is terrible for my AoEs. So if their party was starting out in the same position mine was, then I'd be able to basically just have Grieving Mother instantly stun all of them, and then we just rip them to shreds. But what's happening instead is they're doing that to me. They're using their AoEs, stunning my whole party, and then while my party's crowd controlled, they're just tearing me to shreds. So, let's see here. Formation doesn't seem to have any impact on this.
No problem.
It's putting me in the default formation either way. So,
The transfuse you of
let's see. I'm gonna go
Easy.
for
Aaron's own wives delivered nothing but hollowborn, not a highborn heir. And yet,
just thinking about how I want to handle this. I'm gonna try pulling people back again. Because it has the risk of not working. Oh shit, you're not. I need to swap him back. That's gonna get him killed. I have him set to the wrong hotkey because I was manipulating my party just now. My party organization. And Jesus Christ. Taking so much damage.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pull her back. I can't have her in there. And hopefully she'll be able to regenerate her life back up before anything too bad happens to her. Oh, she can't be targeted. So, it's fine. Just try to paralyze these guys. So did that hit any of them? Hit that one. Hit that one. Oh.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Do not attack. That's actually one thing that I don't understand about this game is why it treats
Warrior soul is quiet.
like confused party members as hostile. Because it really messes with the AI. Let's see. So I just have everyone beat up this thing. Where are you?
That's not good.
Okay, so this guy's paralyzed. Paralyzed. Paralyzed.
Let's end this! Let's end this!
Shed no.
See if I can. I'm actually just gonna. Never mind. That's not. That'd be worthwhile. Gonna try and get this sentry on my side. So I think I charmed that one. So it's charmed for 2 more seconds. It was kind of a mistake in the way that I handled that. Okay, so she has 60 hit points left.
Feels near.
This is way harder than I anticipated it was going to be, but it looks like we have cleared them out. Oh wow, I never blew this on him. Wait, what? Did he just charm both of them? Oh, good. So we got the crit off. The young woman blinks at you and takes a few steps back. Stay away, I don't know. What happened here? We go with number 3. But what? She winces and pitches forward, holding her head. Hylia's wings, I can hardly remember a thing. Banome. No, my name is Aeles. Here's the answer for side plugging at the opening notes of the False Knight. Let's see. I'm gonna go with number 1, maybe? I'm gonna go with number 3, I guess. I don't know what the mother did to her, but this is more than I anticipated was going to happen. We go with 3, I guess? I also know I can't go back to the village, though I don't remember why. And I certainly can't stay here. So, where should I send her? This is weird. This is not how I would handle this situation. None of these options involve basically like we have a stronghold and we could easily take her in until we figure out like what actually happened and all this, like figure out what's going on and get her properly situated so she knows what's going on, her mind is fully her own and all that stuff. We could do that. It's not difficult, right? We just have to take her to the stronghold and, talk to her. And that's just not an option, and that makes me upset, but... I don't necessarily think that the city is a good idea, because with her this confused, it's not gonna work too well. I think it's kind of silly to say that she can't trust anyone. I think I'm just gonna go with number 1. Like, just... I don't like the idea of the sending her to the temple, so I'm just gonna go with number 1. Suggestion sinks in slowly, but it seems to take root in the newly barren place. Oh my god. It's good advice. I won't look back. I'm gonna have a stern talking to with this, like, I'm thinking maybe she's gonna remove the memory of if there was the rape, if, like, that was my worst case scenario. That was, like, what I thought was the worst case scenario, is that she's gonna remove the memory of that, which I think would be inappropriate. Right? I think that's inappropriate. Like, it's a horrible thing to remember, obviously, if it even happened in the first place, which I have no evidence that it did, right? But that would be something that would, I feel, be stealing something from her that's fundamental. Taking away the experience of this horrific thing, this, like, soul-binding, evil nonsense, is best case scenario. And it turns out that what is actually happening is she took all of her memories of everything and basically just left her an empty freaking vessel. Where is the, I said that you could do the thing, but this is completely out of line with what I said you could do, and what the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, I'm not going to go back and reload because I don't think that it's appropriate. She, this wasn't a situation where I did something that was unexpected with my character when I made a choice. This was another one of my party members did something that I was not expecting. This came out of nowhere. And that's what happens sometimes, is sometimes, you know, you give people a license to do things and they end up taking that license and doing something that you do not expect and you think is kind of
Quickly
crazy.
and quietly.
Now, obviously, I would prefer that I had better options to deal with that, but apparently that's not an option. So we can unlock this. Take a toque. So 10% of hits convert to crits, that's pretty decent. Blade of Enutonic origin. A toque, the skinning knife, was a gift passed from mother to daughter, used to remove hides from various hardy creatures in the tundra. It was precisely designed to pierce vulnerable joints and cut deeply and cleanly into flesh, making a fearsome weapon against less traditional game as well. Okay. And oh, Wehrman's Notebook. Finally, we have another one of these books. It's actually a different thing. The looping scribbles are difficult to read, but as you flip through the pages, you can make out several passages. Nearing the beginning, you read. Will be a suitable place for my experiments. There's an abundance of space, and more importantly, the locals are content to ignore it. I could probably skip ahead several pages. Willing volunteers. The legacy has brought many grievances to the surface, and capturing the essence is primarily a matter of timing. The ritual for the effigy serves a good template for died and their essence evaporated. Next time I'll have to try a smaller concentration of the reagent to Noble from Defiance Bay. Results were mostly consistent across other subjects. The challenge is always applying the method to an unwilling participant, but her situation may prove an advantage. If I can bring those memories of her uncle to the forefront, it might render her essence more susceptible to the process. Interesting. So that would indicate that that would imply that it was non-consensual. Kinda. I mean... So... This is a really weird quest, guys. This is a really weird quest. This is very difficult subject matter to deal with. And... I don't know, I think that the methodology of the storytelling is too heavy-handed to handle this kind of a story. Like this kind of a plot is just, it's difficult because the kinds of ways that you respond to stuff like this require a lot of precision, and you don't have that kind of precision in these kinds of games. You don't have the precision that you need to be able to respond in a way that you think is even baseline moral. Anyway, like you really need way more information than we got there to make an appropriate decision. So anyway, let's continue up. Because there's a very big difference between... Because you have no way of even knowing how old that girl is. So, but there's a big difference between consensual incest and raping a child. Like, what the hell? Where the hell am I? Jesus Christ. Okay, we are in the middle of a pack of beetles, and we're gonna die. I thought that this was gonna be in the city somewhere. Oh, okay, I just died, so I guess we're loading. I don't think that we are going to take that exit. I was thinking that we'd go out that exit just to see what was there, but that's way too many beetles to handle, I think. Because I'm not going to be able to keep them on the targets that I need them to be on.
Pain, yet I bleed.
Anyway, so we're going to continue on. We will do some of the quests and stuff like that. Turns out that we didn't have these guys pinned in nearly as well as we thought we did. Because there was a secret passage that goes right outside. Now I'm going to have to walk all the way back. Each person one by one. There's the button. Okay. Life is hard, and now I look like a monster. At any rate, God, that's horrible. That poor girl is like. Wow. Like, what kind of. So we have, first of all, there's. At this point, it's sort of implied that she was raped at the very least. I guess I'd have to talk to her to find out what happened.
Your thoughts must flow deep. Your mind comes bearing.
Nope, I can't ask her about it. Because she went into the girl's mind, so she presumably has an idea. Anyway, so she may or may not have been raped. Probably was raped. Then after that, the, what's the word? Those guys basically contaminated her brain with a bunch of, like dozens of crazed banshee ghost things. And then Grieving Mother says, you know what we should do now? Is we should just eradicate her entire brain. This will go well. It's like, oh my god, people. That is not the best way to handle this situation. Okay, so we're gonna go in here, and we're probably gonna do some other war crimes, because apparently that's how we roll in this party. I'm noticing that none of my party members seem terribly good on the morality scale. Like, well, I don't know. Maybe Pallegina, but even she is not terribly good.
Good day, stranger.
Redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at Dragogen? Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of the inn. You interested in a story? I haven't finished the chants, but I can tell you about it all the same. Sure. Oh, excellent. These rustic fables are always great fun. Let me get something to write with. Pallegina rolls her eyes and exhales for an excessively long time through her nose. It was built in the time of Hadrit's rebellion, and Aediran Lady Thainu once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the Empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrit's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin. Built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thainu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place while the locals built their new town. Can we go with number 3, I guess? Dear Woodens are an ornery lot, and the more of these neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't agree on much besides ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glanfathans and the nearby ruins. Hadrit's Knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lord. Soon the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Aedirans. In the end, their memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the Guided Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glanfathan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. Okay, well, what's this Broken Tree Stone War? That was the first major conflict between the original Aediran settlers and the Glanfathans. Happened 3 years into colonization, and some farmers knocked over an Adra menhir that was part of an Angwithan ruin. The war didn't last long, but it spread quickly and claimed thousands in the early weeks. Most of the colonists didn't even realize there was a war going on until Glanfathan raiders hit their villages. There had been small, spontaneous skirmishes between the colonists and the locals before then, but this was organized, and it was the start of decades of violence between the colonists and the Glanfathans. As you can see, Dyrwood's full of history, even in little villages like this. It started in the colonial days, almost 30 years after the Broken Stone War. Even though isolated conflicts still broke out between the settlers and the Glanfathan, both sides had officially agreed to peace. Edring Hadrit, Admeth's father, was Greth at the time. As part of the peace negotiations, he'd signed treaties prohibiting the Aediran colonists from looting Angwithan ruins. However, he'd been unable to outlaw the use of captured Glanfathans as slaves. Interesting. The taking of Glanfathan slaves had continued to be a source of conflict. It came to a head when Imperial agents, aided by certain earls in Dyrwood, began looting the ruins again. See, the Empire had never actually agreed to Hadrit's treaties on the matter, and the recent secession of the Vailian republics likely left them eager to weaken Hadrit's position. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign among the Glanfathans. Edring Hadrit was too old to lead the forces in battle, so he sent his son Admeth. Admeth made a costly but effective decision that ended the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He burned the forest near the Isk-Ien River to keep the Glanfathan warbands from retreating. Thousands of Glanfathans died, and as Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months, he wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, over 150 years later, there are still sections of Dyrwood where trees are nothing but bare, charred trunks, rather. Interesting. Scorched earth tactics, quite literally.
Hail and well met.
Okay, don't see many travelers these days. Something I can do for you? Alright. Gonna go with number 1. Gonna go with number 1 again. Twitchy lady, that one. Go with... Screw this. I don't care. I really don't care that much about what these people have to say. And let's see, we haven't seen the person yet. So Lord Heron is upstairs. Who's coming up the stairs? The Orlan hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovered over her stiletto. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? I'm gonna go with number 1. Let me guess. Was that someone named Medrith? It's a lie, plain and simple. I got on the wrong side of his employers, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy on you. I'm gonna go with number 1. The Medrith guy didn't seem on the level at the time, so I don't know if you guys remember, but he seemed very neutral about the whole thing. He didn't really seem to give two craps about all those dead children, which implied that he was just making it up. Anyway, what story? The Dominals came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? It was an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now, and if you spoke to Medrith, you know where he's waiting. Please help me get out of here. I'm gonna go with number 2. Alright, I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. That should buy me some time. Okay. Hey, she gave me money. This guy's 1v away from being Daviorn, which is one of the bosses in Baldur's Gate. So,
What are you doing up here? Unless... Have you news of my daughter? I've got to get her out of this wretched village. My daughter? Is she safe?
I really wish that I had more information here. Because I couldn't get any information out of her, because her mind was wiped. Given that her mind was wiped, I'm gonna go with number 2.
That can't be. What happened?
Gonna go with number 1. The key is that we'll be able to judge his reaction, especially since he's clearly not on the level here.
I don't know what you're referring to, but I've heard enough already. Take this, and let's put this unpleasantness behind us.
With the information that we currently have, I do not think that that's enough to convict. However, with the information that we should have, because I'm pretty sure that the canonical thing is that he did in fact rape her. So I think that that's like canon, that that's what happened. And we should, based off of one of our companions being able to read that girl's mind, and she's the one who wiped all that information away, right? So she should know what information was there in the first place. So what I'm thinking is, we probably know exactly what happened. We have a very clear conviction here. We're going with number 3. Your blow dispatches the old man more quickly than you'd like, but you're confident no one heard you. You're also confident no one will ask too many questions when they find him dead. Lost. Wow. Holy crap, I gained a huge amount of reputation with Deerford, but I lost major reputation with Defiance Bay. So, that's very interesting. So Deerford is now faintly good. You know, ooh, 3 damage reduction versus burn. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and take that. We have a Jasper.
Let's see what lies this way.
We didn't have the ability to resolve this quite the way that I'd like to, but
Why not?
oh well. So, let's see if we can loot this stuff. This stuff would be considered stealing.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
And we should... Oh,
Yeah?
1 second. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So, not a very satisfactory resolution, but at the same time, this is the kind of thing where there really isn't a satisfactory resolution. There's no way to fix this problem. So, I guess we'll just have to live with that. At any rate, we just lost a lot of reputation with that one place. I'm not sure how we did, though, to be honest, because none of the locals here are going to say anything about it. You know what I mean? So, since none of the locals are gonna do anything, it seems weird that the other place would be able to find out at some point. But, I guess maybe not. Oh, right, so we need to go talk to this guy. What's up, Medrith? Okay, she snuck out of the back of the inn and went north. Did she now? How would you know that? I was just so... Oh, I love it. Okay, so we unfortunately put our rogue in front. Accidentally. Okay. So we just stunned a decent portion of these guys. Fortunately, we didn't stun the ones that we really need to stun.
Yeah.
So, let's have Eldrea knock this one over so that it stops. Oh, it's not on there anyway. Okay. Boom! AoE and 4 of them. So he's just activated an escape mode. Oh, this is already knocked down. Gotcha. Oh, we can now paralyze them. And this will go pretty smoothly from here on out. Chunky! Okay, so... There we go. So we've cleared out those guys. And we can save this. Let's take a look at our quest log. Let's see. So... Interesting, Trigil is dead and no longer of any use. So this is where... Twin Elms. Ah, Bale Lake. So... do this... Oh right, I never actually... Poor Dare. This quest is just going completely ignored. Okay, so... we can pop over to Winrith's Armory or whatever. It's funny actually that I tell that woman to, you know, ditch town and then I kill the guy who was chasing her. It's like, well, from a purely technical standpoint, I could have just killed him
How
and
do
had
you
her
do?
stick around. Haven't seen you before. Always good to see a new face in town. Company's good for business, and chatter's good for the soul. That's what I always say. Yeah, what can I do for you? Oh, we're a quiet little town. Not much happens here, especially not since the Legacy hit. People realized they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying altogether. And that takes a lot of excitement out of the day-to-day, if you can't believe it. Or if you can believe it, rather. Ungio's +2 athletics. Mosquito. I like it. That's awesome. Rosetto's Thorn, or Ritezzi's Thorn is. Interesting. Okay, so we can go ahead and leave. And I think that we're done with this city for now. We can continue onward to the next area, and we will have a good time.
Ichimok, leave the pig alone.
Ichimok, leave the pig alone. Okay, so there's Deerford Crossing. Let's see if this goes anywhere different. So I didn't see any indication that this stuff was... Oh, we have a minor adventure. So I guess we'll assign someone to it. Assign Aloth. Seems to be pretty useful. We have our stuff built? No. 2 more days for the West Curtain Wall. Okay. Gonna save this. And we are going to pop over to Deerford Crossing. How much time do we have? We have 2 minutes left. So that's not a lot of time. So I guess that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save here and that'll be it for today. Kidnapping? Wait, what? Interesting. So we're sending that guy as a rescue. It's so cool that I can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway. We are going to save this, and then that's going to be it for today. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time.